Welcome back to the second part of my journey into Wasteland 3. Let's jump straight in with two characters I've set up for this. We'll have a look at those characters in a little bit. So the action jumps you straight in after the cutscenes, or in my previous video.
I think I can get the weapons online.
What we're seeing here is very typical of the combat in this game. Isometric view, action points dictating how far you can move, and then also the actions that you can take in your turn. Friendly NPCs clearly being wiped out slowly here, which I think is really setting you up for the game, with just the two characters you're bringing into it being the ones to take you forward. Okay, finally our turn. I've set up two characters, one a sniper build, one a melee build. I've left the tutorial on for the moment just so you can see some of that coming through, but I will obviously turn it off in due course. What we're looking at now is our options, whether it be to move or to attack. For this one, obviously, it'll be looking to attack with the sniper rifle to take out one of the enemy units. I'm going to cover the builds in a little bit more detail, but as you can see, the sniper rifle build is strong enough to take out these enemies with one shot. Let's have a quick look at our abilities and items. So some pretty standard ones, including attack and reload. We got a special there that charges up over time to effectively one-shot an enemy or do a lot of damage to a boss, and we have our first aid option there. So we have enough action points to actually attack again, which we will do so. And hey, this sniper rifle is one-shotting the enemy, so let's keep doing that. Moving on to the melee character that I've set up. Let's have a quick look at some of the basic details, which you can have a look at through the inspect button. And you can see just some core attributes of the character there. Now, there's no real point moving this character into any danger at the moment. There's too many enemies on the field, so we're going to have a look at the final actions. So it gives us three options here. One is to put into a defensive stance, one to carry some AP over to the next turn, and the final one to actually perform an ambush when the enemy moves. Obviously not so good for melee, so we're just going to put him into the defensive mode. Oh crap, okay, so things are getting serious now. The enemy's bringing in its robot, which I'm feeling, yep, there goes the rest of the friendly NPCs.
Haircuts! Come on, you piece of... There's the problem. Hang in there, November. Almost got it.
Okay, so clearly that's going to be our way out of this, is the big gun
November,
that's now becoming available. So let's jump onto ground so you can see that in action. Okay, so it works very similarly to controlling your own characters. We're going to target where we want to fire. We can move this around. It's like the best field of fire in order to take out as many of the enemies as possible. And when we're happy, let's just hit it. Alright, okay, well that took that out very easily as a result. We'll mop up the final enemy here now. And that's a pretty successful finish to the first encounter, albeit very much a tutorial at this stage. And now we'll have some dialogue.
If you want to live through this, we gotta take out the bastards with the rocket launcher up on the dam. We'll each find our own way up there and catch them front and back. Got it?
So the dialogue now giving us some options to add a bit of character
Remember,
to our
Arizona's
playstyle.
depending on us. There's no quitting here. There's no going back.
Yes, Major.
All right, move out.
Okay, so that sets up our first quest to do.
Look at them doodlebugs run! Come on, cousins! Don't let them scatter! Keep them together while I reload the rocket gun!
voice acting, but okay, so that's our first protagonist that we're going to be going after. Now, one of the interesting things with the looting in here is that if you loot one of the bags that are on the floor, you actually get to pick up everything from all of the enemies. Now that's quite an interesting one, isn't it? Applies a few status effects or potential status effects. The rest of it is largely junk, which we can use later on in the game or sell. Okay, let's have a look at a few of the menu screens. Firstly, the inventory. And that, quite interestingly, the inventory appears to be shared between characters rather than being character specific, which is a little bit unusual. You can see the weapons we can use and the weapons we can't use here, depending on the skills that we have selected. Let's have a look at the actual characters. So I built two characters, one being a sniper build, very focused on luck, awareness and intelligence. I've tried to make these very polar characters who will be very strong in certain areas. The luck obviously gives you that critical chance, and then the awareness very much gives you the range bonus damages, which I think obviously very important for a sniper build. We're not going to focus on any of the other skills within this build. The intelligence as well, giving the additional critical chance, critical damage, as well as the skill point bonus. Now with both of these characters I have actually selected a quirk. I just like that sort of play style. It makes it a little bit unique, a little bit different. This one being set up so it does a lot of damage, but it's also quite vulnerable for damage, which for a sniper is great because it's at the back of the field. And then additional critical chance with the background. Okay, let's move on to the melee character. Put a few points into coordination so that it has the extra action points, and so therefore can get in and hit things very quickly. A lot of points into strength, not surprisingly, which really buffs up the melee damage on the character. And then I also put some into speed for the evasion bonus that gives. Again, very polar characters, with no other skills really focused on. And the Blunderer quirk, giving him massive melee damage, and then even more melee damage bonus coming from the background. Okay, moving on to the skills. Not surprisingly, a lot of points put into sniper rifles, but I'm also putting some points into weapon modding for this character, so that she can actually improve the sniper rifles that she's using. And then the second character, the melee character, purely on the melee combat, to again buff that even more. Now this is one of the perks, because this is nothing specifically selected. So these must be related to the status of your character at that time, and so I wonder if these will change over time. I mean, some really good bonuses there as well, so that's quite interesting. The sniper rifle has got a special ability, and you can see you get a number of those as they level up those abilities. On the melee character, similarly, some good skills there as well. Extra armor, extra health, all really useful for this class. And the evasion as well will be very useful. That, though, is just completely useless for how I'm actually playing this character, it being very much for a blunt weapons. Next option is the maps. Not a lot to say about that. And then you've got the mission log, which gives you a bit more detail on your quest. And finally, reputation, which obviously will build over time. Now, before I forget, let's have a quick look at the abilities of the melee character. So, very similar to the one. That Thundering Strike, that sounds quite interesting, doesn't it? Particularly its stun ability, and again has the med, and we're going to use that this time.
Are you washed in the blood?
Okay, well, seems like a very nice person. So I think we should probably try and take him down from range here before we even actually get to the combat stage. So we can get straight into the attack mode with the sniper rifle, and yep, one shot and he's gone. Similar to most of these games, looting everything is key. Well, he didn't last very long, did he? Okay, move forward a little bit.
How should I know? Maybe
So
you
quite a
blew
common
her up
occurrence
already.
in these types of games, in particular in Wasteland 2 as well, is these sort of little mini cutscenes, I guess you could call them, but some dialogue options coming up.
Me my glory. Get that fucking gun
Well, we
off
have
of
no
me.
option
I
to
don't
target
know.
this individual, so we are going to have to go and talk to them. So let's go in.
Fuck! Your friends are here. Okay, Hotlanders. Drop your guns and she doesn't die. Got it?
Okay, so the first time when if we had selected some of the dialogue skills, we would have had
The
some
bringers of the
alternative
deluge.
options, and as I suspect will happen in this one,
You're more ignorant
possibly
than I
would have been
thought.
able to save the NPC, or maybe not. But in this instance,
Bastard! I told you I'd kill her!
not. Again, we're going to lose everything in the area and then move on. Now, from what I've seen so far, the graphics seem to be fairly similar to Wasteland 2. Not a massive step up, albeit when you're looking at an isometric view, I'm not sure there's much you can do with that.
Much for saying goodbyes, Jody Bell. So, we're gonna slip this into your pack before you leave in the morning. We just want you to know how proud we are of you, and that we'll be praying hard for your safe return. And don't you worry about us, none. We'll get by. We always do. Remember not to sass the officers. And don't drive so fast. You ain't racing to Colorado and back. Just keep your head down and your eyes open. And we'll be counting the days till you come home.
Okay, so very much sort of a Bioshock style to building out the storyline with the taped messages that add to the atmosphere of the game. Okay, and on to our second encounter. And I'm going to actually play through this one completely so you can see a good example of how the gameplay works.
Murders! Sick fucks!
Okay, so first we're going to move into position, and actually now what we're going to do is we're going to toggle the group select so that we are controlling each of the characters individually just for this first part, so I can move the sniper rifle character into a position to take out one of the enemy NPCs. There we go, so that starts the combat. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get it quite right. The sniper rifle isn't in cover there, and obviously that's quite important in this game, particularly for that character where she takes that extra bit of damage, but does more damage. We're going to move the melee character up so that he is hopefully drawing some fire, put him into a defensive mode at this stage.
My bullets are skull nukes!
That's unfortunate, took a little bit of damage there. Okay, well that's fortunate that their character moves so close, so we can just take that one out in one shot, hopefully. No, okay, 2 shots. Okay, and swap over to the sniper rifle, we'll take out the next enemy NPC. Okay, let's get in there and again try and draw fire with the melee character. And actually I make a mistake here and actually put on to the end of turn there, which didn't actually have any negative consequence, but could have been enough other circumstances. So want to remember there to use up all your things.
Rangers, this is Major Prasad. I took an outflow pipe through to the far side of the dam. Now it looks like I can get up behind those yahoos on the top and take them unawares. Let me know when you're in position and we'll... Shit! Incoming fire! Taking cover!
Okay, so again, another sort of mini cutscene used there with the audio input, just to move the story along. So we're going to leave everything here. You can see a lot of ammo, which would be good if I had any guns, but I don't. Now, I just wanted to show you this one. I think it was quite interesting. So this is where if you have lockpicking skill, gives you the ability to open some of the boxes around. Well, nice of him to drop in, I guess.
Another gut puppet to my name. You hearing this, Erastus? You ought to be here. The deluge of blood has begun, and I'm winning, big brother.
Alright, so I think that's just introduced their future character. Now, this is quite an interesting one because I was actually using the melee character to lead, who has a lower perception. Quite possibly, if you're using the sniper character with her high perception, would have actually spotted that explosive charge and actually avoided some damage there. But some good guns picked up as well there, which we can equip, so very useful for that to happen. Okay, so a little bit later we managed to pick up our first utility talisman. I think these are really quite useful, adding some good stats to your character. So very worth finding those and equipping them pretty early on in the game. Okay, so we're coming up on our first boss fight with one of the Dorsey brothers. So we're going to get a little bit of dialogue, a little bit of background for the story again here.
Wait a minute, maybe not. Howdy, Hotlander. The rest is gonna be sorry he stayed home. He loves him some entrails.
Okay, you got some options there. I don't think they're going to make much difference because you know where this is going to end up,
My
really.
big brother, he'd have loved to taken a piece out of you, but that's okay. I'll bring him one later.
Okay, let's push this on.
Sharpened my... Ooh, I'll sharpen my knife on your bones, and I'll wash it clean in your blood. For the deluge is coming, you heathen, and I'm its harbinger. And no one's coming to save me.
Well, that did not end well for him at all, and probably with that sort of character acting, probably not a bad thing. But there's the Major, so finally caught up with her, and then we get on to this final battle.
Incoming!
Well, I'm not going to go through the entire battle. I think you've seen the sort of mechanics from the last one. But I just want to show you this one, which is your, I guess, your special move that powers up over time. Quite interesting how they've done this. For the sniper, it allows you to zoom in on an enemy PC. We've got this one here. And then gives you the option of which parts of the body you want to actually target. Now, you can immediately see with some of these options that for boss fights they could be quite useful to either increase the damage on that boss or to slow them down so they have the ability to close in on you if they're melee damage, as well as reducing the amount of damage they may do. In this case, we're just going to take them out with a headshot just to show what that does. Wow, 320 damage? Well, yeah, that's pretty damn big.
Dorsey's vengeance is coming! I'll slash off some
Well, this is quite unusual actually, as we're going to see in a second. We actually have a friendly NPC who's actually quite useful. So dealing a lot of damage and took out a number of the enemy. Not often you see that in a game, so we worked our way through that particular encounter and it allowed us to level up. So let's have a look at that and see how that works. Okay, so the leveling up gives us extra skill points as well as increasing things like constitution and others. In this case, for the melee character, he has 3 points to use, so we're going to put one of those into his melee combat skills, and I'm actually going to put one into one of the dialogue options, which I think fits with the style and nature of this character and how I want to play them. And for the sniper class, I'm going to just continue to build up her sniper rifle skills, increasing the hit chance, which is obviously key for combat, as well as adding to weapon modding. So once we looted, we're going to actually then finish out this part of the video by talking to Major
Nice
Prasad.
work finishing off that jerk's
Hear a little bit more about the
crew.
story.
Did you find any other survivors? I got jumped by more of these foxes. I was sneaking up here. I got them all. But the last one got me with a skinning knife before I finished him.
Not looking good for her.
I asked you a question, Rangers. Did anyone else make it?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to be honest with her.
Damn it. Damn. I'm bleeding.
Okay, so here we go with the next step of our
We need
journey coming up.
To head for Colorado Springs. Establish a headquarters at Peterson Air Force Base. Support the Patriarch, no matter what.
Interesting.
We do that, and the Patriarch sends aid to the Arizona Rangers. We don't, and the Rangers are fucked. That brings me to the secret orders.
Of course, the secret orders. Alright, so what's this really about then?
When we first heard from the Patriarch, General Woodson sent an advance team to Colorado, led by Angela Death. But they went dark. We have to find them.
So Angela was a character from Wasteland 2. So good to find her back in the game.
No.
Good with assault
She found
rifles, if I
her way
remember.
home, then found out all her squad mates had died fighting. Cortez.
Okay, so we're going to play this one
volunteered
out
for the
in the
advanced team
background, and
Got her away from
I will sign off at this
her
point.
ghost.
I hope
Any
you liked the
second.
video. I hope you've started
Catch
to pick
my
up
breath.
how
We
this
can go.
particular game plays, and I hope it's a game that actually you will look to pick up. I think it's certainly a lot of depth to it, and as we'll see, I'm going to now continue my journey, and I'll sort of post hopefully the highlights as I continue through Colorado. So thanks again. Subscribe if you like the content. I'm going to try and put a few more videos out there, more games in due course. Alright, signing off. Bye.